oboe players, in this week's video we are going to review some of our notes that are a little bit more difficult on the oboe. This video will talk about the higher notes on the music staff, and that will be D, E flat, E natural, which is different than E flat even though it's on the same space, but we'll get there, F, G, A, and B flat. So most of this is the end of your B flat scale. But in Let's Go Band, you also do have this E flat, E, F that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to give you some tricks for that. So first, let's get started by learning the note D. The note D is the first note on the oboe that uses the half hole. So on C, I'm covering this entire button. On D, I'm only pressing this piece of metal right here, and I need to make sure that my finger's not covering up that. So once I press this, I set my middle finger on the regular middle button and my ring finger on the regular ring finger button. I want to really make sure that all of my buttons are completely closed, because if I'm not pressing all the way, then there's a leak is going to occur, which means that air goes out from underneath your fingers when it's not supposed to. On a note like D or E flat or F, you have so many buttons down, pretty much every finger that you put onto the instrument is one more chance that you might have a leak. So you just want to go really slow and make sure each note, each finger is added and you really are covering each hole. If you need to kind of take the oboe off, look at that hand, look at this hand, just to make sure. Even if you play in front of a mirror, like I'm using my computer right now and I can easily see all of my fingerings without having to like hurt my neck and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and play D. So the fingering is half, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and play it. This is what it sounds like. So, D, again, what I want you to do is play it once, but then go back, let go of all your fingers, hold the oboe differently, all right? Then try it again. And you're just going for consistency. So half, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If it's the same note, you did a good job. So now, let's go ahead and talk about E flat and E. So, there are two ways to play E flat, and I'm going to show you both of them now. First, you got to know that they use one of your pinky keys. So, on the note D that we just played, our index, middle, and ring finger are used. But see where our pinkies go? We have these metal buttons right here. You got 3 for your right pinky on the bottom and 3 for your left pinky on top. So, the E flat that you guys know that we learned in school is this one. This is in your book. So this is my right hand. I have 1, 2, 3. And of these 3 buttons right here, see where my pinky is? I'll go all the way down to the bottom one. Now that is a tough reach. So D is here, and E flat is the same fingering except I add this bottom E flat. Now there's this thing called the Jaws theme, which is supposed to be about a shark, and it sounds like this. And you just go back and forth between D and E flat over and over, and that's a really good song to use to practice that transition from D to E flat. Now, the first E flat that I just showed you was the E flat that used my right pinky. Now, there's an E flat that uses my left pinky. And so, let's talk about that instrument right now. Here I want to zoom in really close on the oboe so you can see where my left pinky can go. So, the one that's on the top is not the one we are going to use. The one that's sticking out on the side is not the one we're going to use. We're going to use this one. It's a little lower and it's on the inside, closer to the middle of the oboe. So, you see that? So now we have 1, 2, 3, pinky, 1, 2, 3. So now I can do the same exact exercise playing the Jaws theme about the shark using my left pinky instead. So you can see my right pinky's not being used. I'm going to use this pinky. Ready? So that is one way to play the E flat. The other E flat is your right pinky key. I want you to pause the video, re-watch the different E flats that you can learn, and then I want you to go ahead and try playing that Jaws theme, which will be from D to E flat. And then we can go ahead and learn our E natural. So at this point, stop the video and go ahead and try which E flat do you think is easier, the left pinky or the right pinky? The left pinky or the right pinky? It's up to you. So now it's time to go on to E natural. So E flat and E natural are two different sounds. Here's E flat, and here's E natural. They're two different notes, even though they're found on the same space. E natural is played using my thumb key. And starting now in the video, from E, F, G, A, B flat, all of those notes use this back thumb key. Now, for the thumb key, you don't want to make your fingers feel awkward. You want it to be very natural, and you don't want to have to reach too far. You want to keep it very close, and you don't want your hand to be in a weird position. Keep your hand very arced. Imagine if you're holding like a softball or something, and then just put your fingers down, keeping a nice open gap between your hand right there. Can you see that? So for E natural, we're going to go thumb, fully cover 1, 2, 3, and then on my right hand, we're going to go 1 and 2. So we're getting really close to our regular F, but we don't add our ring finger. So here is our E. Again, E natural is thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's give it a shot. Ready? Hold your fingers right now because we are very close to F. Let's go ahead and learn F now. So I have my thumb, 1, 2, 3 of my left hand. 1, 2, and then my right hand, my right ring finger goes right here on this little sideways key right here, and that's my regular F. It's the same fingering as my low regular F, but I don't use my thumb key. Ready? Watch my fingers. This is with the thumb, playing a high note. This is without the thumb, playing a low note. You can kind of see my thumb back here moving, but none of these fingers are. The same is for my E. That is what my thumb key in the back does. It brings my notes into the high versions of them. So the same fingering for E, E flat, F, they're all used to play the low notes. All you got to do is add that thumb key. So at this point, we've learned D, E flat, E, and F. But I want to pause right there because we need to talk about going from E flat to F. When you have an E flat to F, you have to use your forked F. Forked F is thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. So my middle finger and my ring finger are not being used. This is F. Now, the reason that I have to do that is because when I go from E flat to F, if I have to move my ring finger. But if I do that, I accidentally hit an E in there and I don't want to. I just want to go from E flat to F. I get that awkward note in between that you don't want. If I'm doing it correctly, I go from my E flat to my forked F. And it does the correct jump. So now we can play pretty quickly the last few notes. As I said before, G, A, and B flat are the same versions as the low ones, except you add this back pinky key. So our low G is found on this second line, and it's just 1, 2, 3 in my left hand. If I add my thumb key, I can play my high one. So here's my low G with the thumb off. Thumb on, high G. Same thing goes with A. My low A is 1 and 2. If I add the thumb, I can play this high A. And finally, my B flat. So I have my thumb 1, 2 in my left hand and 1 in my right hand. No thumb for low B flat. Thumb for high B flat. Now, I wonder if you noticed something. I just missed a note. Why? Because I was playing for a few seconds and I got a little bit of spit stuck in my reed. All I did was kind of slurp it like a straw in there, and it made me play the note again. If I add a little spit in there, it makes it a lot harder. So every once in a while, just slurp it like a straw, enjoy your milkshake, and go for it. So with that, I want you to just make sure that as you're playing this, and whenever you're learning new notes, you just take your time and you go really one at a time. Most of the time, your ring fingers, because your ring fingers are pretty small at your age, your ring fingers might not be pressing hard enough. They might be missing the hole, or there might be an issue with your oboe. Now, I know that your oboes are in really good condition, so your oboe should be fine. Potentially, you might need a new reed, which again, make sure you're keeping good care of those reeds, because if your reed's in bad shape, it's going to be really hard for you to be successful on the oboe. So just make sure that all those are set. If you guys have any questions about any of these notes, please feel free to email me, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So now the purpose of this video is I want you to take these notes. If any of your songs, maybe in London Bridges, F, G, F, E flat, D, E flat, F, that's a tough part of the song. Use this video to go back and learn those parts of the songs. London Bridges is just one example. You can use this on any of the music in your Essential Elements book, in the handouts that you've gotten for your concert music, or for anything that was on Google Classroom. Bye, oboe players.